Chedan Zoji Jonala Shanju Bada Dana Josem Dagu Chishi Jibe Zonam Je Lola Tenja Sanje and the Sanje Chedan Zoji Jonala Shanju Bada Dana Josem Dagu Chishi Jibe Zonam Je Lola Tenja Sanje and the Sanje Chedan Zoji Jonala Shanju Bada Dana Josem Dagu Chishi Jibe Zonam Je Lola Tenja Sanje and the Good morning again. Nice to meet you, all of you. There's some familiar, what's that? Familiar fest. Did I say correctly? Familiarity? How you say?
Familiar.
Oh, familiar. I have some familiar you guys face. Anyway, wonderful. Hey, Bing, how are you doing? I can see Bing's head.
Oh, yeah. Hey, good. Good. Hey.
Good.
Yeah. Hey, thank you.
They say it's comfortable, right? We all just have some tea, coffee, relax. Now, always, this is very important, okay? We're just looking for positives, like this pandemic. If there's any small positive, we just think that way. If you think about negative, we have so many negatives, so many faults, so many difficult times. It doesn't fix us, okay? You just say, okay, I'm just stand up, even my pajama, just, to just show my, upper body, then just, in the lesson, the teaching, just, think it that way. And look like this, even I go to India, we can, keep the class like always. If you have good internet, then, if you doesn't miss that time, then we can do any place. We are not like everything, like a lot of things meetings, things to,
I'm so grateful for these classes, so glad.
We have the classes, meetings, prayers. Like they become like normal. Before, we just, really it's work? Can we teach online? Really this work? Can we do prayer online? It's work? Even I was, before pray with the Facebook, I was a little bit shy and uncomfortable. Or maybe, not just, people can see in front of you. We post that, many people, different areas, so people, very far away, a little bit uncomfortable. Now it become like normal. just on, put this on, you don't have to do any special. Like things a lot.
Are you still in India?
Huh?
Are you still going to India?
Are you going to say?
Are you still going to India?
Oh, no. This year not.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah, no. This year just at the Medford.
Okay, good.
More safe place. Anyway, yeah, like that, it's good, we able to keep the class, we able to see everyone. I really feel, I can see you guys' face, just like we can see every day, like same that. I don't feel very far away, something to disconnect, like with connection. It's wonderful. And then look, that's also, if you do this, also more people can able to join. Also, JC doesn't have to spend for the money to Uber.
I'd rather Uber to you, Geshe.
No, I mean, I was there, some good things. Yeah. Also, it also come to the man. Anyway, it's wonderful, yeah. We can do the prayer, the chanting, meet together, like everyone, all the groups, they do like same as this. It's so wonderful. I'm very happy to see all of you. Especially, I'm very glad, it's our members, no one gets sick. That's very, very grateful. If there's some, like in Massachusetts, there's still every day like 300-400 people. We are not one of that. It's very lucky. We're very grateful. And how many people die in the United States like that now? Maybe 200,000, something like that. And we are not one of that. Yeah, of course, it's impermanent. I'm here, I've been here, oh yeah, tell me what's going on in my body. So also still, especially, the weather will change, it become fall. And everyone just be careful, don't be careless. Maybe we got colds, like I think this is maybe we can also believe, this is a blessing for our praise. Also, I think everyone, not very stressful. I don't see. Your mind is more relaxed. It's, physically thing we have not easy, but everyone like mind pretty stable. It's also, you practice for Dharma. You hear things, you know things, in reality, samsara. I think this is, you can say this is a benefit. Otherwise we don't see, we don't feel what benefit, where can I get benefits? I think these things, I think we can say blessings, benefits. Also, we do a lot of Tara, pray for Tara, Therefore, there's, I'm sure there are benefits. Same as when we take, you guys check the vitamins, vitamin D, vitamin C. Do you see anything to change your body? We don't see anything, right? I take, and right now I'm taking every day vitamin D, but I don't feel anything. But I'm sure there are a lot of benefits to keep our body. I think this is exactly the same. And a blessing for the practice, blessing for the praise. You don't really see, this is a change, Like with example, when you are pretty tired, weather's hot, you take shower, then come out, then you're wearing the new clothes, you feel, I might feel bad, it might feel good, we feel like very clean, like something, we have something feeling, I don't know how can we can feel some feel, right? After you take shower, come out in a couple of minutes. Like that, this we can really feel. But we take the vitamins, pray, practice, we don't feel like that kind. But I'm sure our practice, our prayer, our meditation, and blessing is same as we take in the vitamins. Like that can benefit. Then how can, right now, example, we're not one of the person to sick. Maybe you tomorrow, I'm not. But, we are not one of that. I think these things we can, believe or we can share or we can accept this is a blessing to practice and praise. Okay? Otherwise, I pray all day, every day, but still I'm going on. Right? Sometimes we have feel that, right? And I do pray every day, always, but still something's going on. this is not like also our prayers give the result. It's not right now. No, it's long term. It's also, we have like experience right now, things going on. This is also not something we did something wrong in this life, therefore this happened. This is we all create the karma to many years, maybe 100 years before we did this. Then the condition come, then we didn't purify, then, how you say, a collection karma, we got experience like that. Therefore, even you have difficult this time, don't think, okay, I didn't do any bad things, but what's going on that? You just feel excuse for the previous life. You can just excuse someone else. It's excuse for our mind. Relax. And always, I'm thinking that this is any kind of situation, just accept. Just accept. It makes a very big difference. Because a lot of things we don't accept. Any kind of situation, then we feel we have to fight back or we have to do something. Then we feel very, terrible situation. Then we accept, then try to, find the solutions to solve the problem. Like that, right? Like, sometimes we have some naturally or some problems with our body. Just we don't feel this is something problem. This is how, what is that? This is how it is. Then we just protect, we just keep going like that. Example, you have Nabdu.
Snot.
Snot. Everyone has snot coming, right? It bothers us. Like snot. Always. Even you eat the very delicious food, so come. Then cross from you, then you get it. But anyhow, just be accepted. Or something coming out of my nose, snot. It's not nice, dirty, but we don't feel this is something bad. We accept that. This is how. That doesn't bother us. Therefore, any kind of things, I think, very important to accept. The accept means, okay, you accept, just don't do that, Not like that. You just accept, then try to fix, follow. There's a big difference. Just try that, okay? This is, not only talk about Dharma, this is like a reality, nature. We accept. Very important. Then, understand for impermanence. Change always. We're not like Tibetans have, very difficult, they also, who the Tibetans, and we contact with our families in India, the Tibetans, who have the families in Tibet, they use the WeChat, the one app. Maybe you guys know, maybe you don't know. This is the only way how to contact for your family in Tibet. Now in India, they shut down like more than 200 apps. Also WeChat, one of them. Then the monks, the most monks, maybe like 90% come from Tibet. Then they have nowhere to contact their families. They shut down. This is the only way they contact. But they just implement, they accept. Then now all the Western countries in the US also, they're going to, tonight, before 12, they're going to shut down WeChat. Also, there are a lot of Tibetans in the Western, like US. I think there are a lot of come from Tibetan. They're also only one of the way to contact with Tibetan, their families. Now, before a couple of years, we can see each other, we can chat, we can FaceTime, like very close. Now, again, just shut down. I don't know how they can find also maybe another app like that. But we just...
The thing in the U.S., the federal judge blocked the banned from WeChat, so I don't think it's shut down tonight. I just saw the news. They said the federal judge just blocked the president from banning the app. So I think it should be okay for now for WeChat.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, even the blocked, how you say?
The ban?
Ban, then we connect, for us. Maybe there's some another big, issues, but for like me, how can I connect with my family? They only through WeChat. If they block, it's okay. This is just, we just accept. Therefore, any kind of things, we just accept and doesn't bother us. We don't feel, okay, what can I do? Maybe we will find something. Maybe it will come change impermanently. We will find another way, or maybe that doesn't do blocked up that. Anyway, therefore, accept the impermanent, those kind of things to very good for keep our daily life like stable. And then also rejoice to daily, every day, like today, we are able to get up, you can move here. Are you guys able to move? Past is past, already past. I always say, try to not bring to the all memories, all memories. We have good memories, bad memories. Sometimes we doesn't bring the good memories. We always bring the bad memories. Therefore, it doesn't fix. Just as how I'm thinking that. Also, Buddha teaching like that. The future also very far away. We don't want to, if you're really Dharma practice, really Lam-rim practitioners, then you have to feel tomorrow to solving today. You have to feel for others solving your own today. But ask to complicate. I have enough to my own solving. I don't want tomorrow. I don't want your solving. I have so many things to worry myself. Usually, if you're really Lam-rim, Lobjong practitioner, you have to do that. You say, the Shantideva say, if you don't recognize your own suffering, you think others, you just, fake, you just, just say, you're not able to think others. It's true. Then also they say, you have to, like Lam-rim, very serious Lam-rim practitioner, you have to meditation to tomorrow's suffering, today, then next year's suffering, this year, then future life suffering. Right now, they say you have to meditation like experience like that. But for us, too much that. We are just, like me, as I'm just, I say, level 1. Then just we say, okay, we don't want to think too much tomorrow. What happened next week? What happened next year? Okay, we have some, okay. We have so many dots. If that happened, what happened? If that happened, what happened? If that happened, it's tomorrow. It's not yet here. Therefore, try to not bring that things. Dobala.
Desire. Doba.
And dopa, and they go.
Doba, desire.
Or desire. Also, we don't want too much desire. We have two problems, desire and thought. They both bring a lot of problems. The desire say, I hope not that, I need that, I want that, I like that, I don't like that, this is our desire. The thought say, oh, what happened if like that happened? What happened like that? If that happened, what can I do? Like so many. Those two minds come together, then we mix together. Therefore, main thing is just for us. Like kids, right? Kids doesn't think what happened today, yesterday, what happened tomorrow. They just find something from the parents today. They just play that. They like to candies, right? Kids eat a lot of candies. Do you guys eat candies? They just find candies too from parents. They don't think, oh, maybe future my tooth broken. Something. They don't have any worries. Like that, we need like that. And I like to share one joke. It's not joke. It's very funny. When we are monastery, also you have a lot of sponsors for here. Like sponsors send the money and monks. They more, the teachers' time, their time, we keep the cash. Also, how they do, before the monks come, like example, okay, Geshe wants to send like $200 for Lama Tenten. Lama Tenten, he just sign. He doesn't get see the money. The money and the teacher, they set. Because if you give Lama Tenten, he just buy things, he simply just spend one day. Then, all the monks, you have sheets, the sponsors the name. Then, okay, someone has the $200, someone has $100, some $300, there's something, there's, okay, $200 if they're India like that. You can show the monk, then they can send. Then, in front of him, we have big box. And tomorrow she knows that. Maybe you guys, anyone saw that? Maybe you guys no one saw that. We have the big box, big box. In the box, each monk has small boxes. Their name Lobsang Tenzin. Then after they lock. Then whatever he have got the money, then we put that. Then key also two people's hand, one teacher, one or another person. Two key. If you are not to open, you have to go two people that. Anyway, then we save the money that. Then I was there, same. But if you don't feel that money is my money, I'm saving that. I just try to, Karo, Malay, Tapsi, you could try to check, Kanji, Man, then you go, the gala, Tapso, my Momushes, my ching, you go, you go, the sand. Malay, Tapsi, Tang, then up a song, not more, but Pejitan, some of your mothers. Kupu, the chief of Malay, Tapsi,
So we always try to, take the money out. We, try all kinds of means, to take the money out because we want to, buy things. We say, oh, I need to buy this, I need to buy this. So we use all these excuses, to, take the money. But we never think, of saving the money, for the future.
제자 가르나 그 산이 섬셨던 말, 다 가지 대린 가래 존나까지 제자나 대전의 계획에서 옆에 담보치가 됐어. 내라고 저기 말해.
So we never think about, tomorrow, what's going to happen tomorrow. I may need to use it tomorrow. I may need it tomorrow. We don't think like that. So the teachers have to do that for us. So they are very strict, with giving the money out.
니마 나도 저 가지 다 가지 부여 나도 부여다 부여 그 빠빠 나 빠빠 뇨 있어 몇십 받아 빠빠 야요 다 정말 근데 걔가도 키워다 나 잘라내 뇨 있어 한 배신들이 쇼소세 근데 이게야 몇십 받지다 부여 그 나도 고단만 녀 나로 녀다 근데 몇십 받아 야 난데 뇨 있어 키네 와레스 근데 걔가 지탄나 되니 봐 이마고네 꼭꼭대어들 먹어요래.
So we give all this excuse, to get the money, and we say, "Oh, I need to buy this, I need to buy that," and that's what was one monk, who lied, saying that he bought a blanket from Tibet, from somebody. He just bought, but when you bought something, to pay money, then you have to also show, what you bought, and then he had to show it. So he showed, the blanket that he borrowed from his friend. He didn't buy it, but he just wanted to have the money. He didn't buy it, so he just borrowed the blanket from his friend, and he showed it to his teacher, and then his teacher looked it thoroughly, and then found it was an old blanket, and so then they he was exposed, so like that. So many monks, they lie and then they get caught also.
야, 내가 제가 가서 뺀데나랑 가서 남주 빼자 리모디 와테 당님만 다 데브려 내가 데브요 말 강가 빼자 리모디 아니래 아니 가서 녀가도 아니 님만 제가 다 양치게 가서 샤치래 아니 코까도 무시대 녀인스 아니 코 이게 막 뺀데나 들어가지 막 키네요 이제 가서 양 계속 쉐바이다 코 이한데 야 계서야 그거 근데 녀의 고문이 짜가 지래서 아니 걔가 같이 지다 걔가 셴바디 따네 빼자 따네 따모 잡셔야 되로 약들이 같이
And then there was one of my friend monk, who lied, so saying that he bought a scripture text, like text, the long one, the scriptural form, And he told his teacher that he bought this scripture of the general meaning of the first chapter of the Ornament of Realization. And so he said he bought it from his friend, but he just borrowed it. Yeah. So he was asking for money to pay for that, but he didn't really buy it. He just borrowed it from his friend. And then teacher said, okay, show me the text. And then his teacher looked through the text. And then when he saw that all the notes that his friend has put in the text, and then he was exposed again.
Mary knows Kushinaga, Deborah. Deborah, do you been Sarah? No, right? Yeah, Marian been there. Jennifer not. Who been Sarah? Only Marian? Yeah, look, only Marian there. Yeah, you know the
Laura.
Remember? Have you been Kushinaga? Yeah. Anyway, the Kushinagas too, the monks go to buy things. There are also restaurants. 제가 가도 쿠시나가 안에 담자 만도 아니 다 마도가 공부 작히야요나 뭐게 사야 뇨야뇨 야는 오도리쇼 고문유시도 대트야면에 래네 나를 래네 아니 소소고 로바서 고문유시야 아니 파테가 같은데 가자 나도 자외가 샘 이마 자세 샘이야 지금 싸서면도 가 먹어만 드셔서 되니 섬천 땅거 말다 갑도 배제다 아니 근데 대표 나오지 보셔요.
And so some of you might know that Kushinagar is a small town next to the Sera Monastery. And that's like the closest, small town where we go to buy stuff, go to hang around and eat in the restaurants and things like that. So we spend all the money, whatever we need to eat, we eat. And we don't think about, other needing to save money for the rest of the things. So then when we come back, we have to take like a taxi, auto rickshaw. The auto rickshaw, they sell like a taxi, auto rickshaw. And so sometimes we don't even think about that, think about saving money to pay for the auto rickshaw. So when we come back, we don't have any money left. So then when we take the auto rickshaw, you have to pay 20 rupees. We don't have any money left. So then we get off the auto rickshaw and then look for our friend and borrow from them and then pay to the auto rickshaw like that. So what I'm trying to say is that, you just spend the money, don't think about the future, then no need to worry. So, it's very like, happy go mind, like that.
제가 안에 대나 안에 나도 받은 초초가 그냥 뭐라 그랬어요. 미리 찍으러 와. 그래서 내가 야 찍어래. 나도 야되네 나도 또 시작으로 나와서 그래.
And so again, also we get money offerings, from the pujas when people, sponsor pujas. And then we also get a money offering. And that money offering also has to be given to the teacher. Because if we keep it, we'll like spend all the money. So we'll have to give it to the teacher.
제가 나도 자와 사야 가고 싶어. 간지 마자 사자 제막에 요 말이 사야 가고 싶어.
So monks are very fond of eating. So they spend all the money in eating. They don't buy any other stuff. They just eat.
제자 안에 되는지 다 개개소라야 샘지요. 가르나 다 먹어봐 아니 약보잖아 거기시다고 그래. 대 맞아나 야 찍고 받은 로고야 야 나와는 문제다. 된대기 제대고 마사나 코 티카도 하고마다 개개수 아니 밤에 보고 제가 낮에 전에 강가야 냐 지니 마테 두지 되는지 야 그래.
So the teacher is not like just general teacher, it's like the teacher who takes care of the students, right? So not just in terms of the study, but also financially, the livelihood, everything. The teacher will take care, just like the parent takes care of their children, the teacher will take care of the disciple. And so the teacher will think about them. So they think about the monks and say, oh yeah, later, if he really becomes Geshe, then you need to, make big offerings to the monastery and to all the monks. At that time, you need a lot of money. And even if you don't become a Geshe, then, if you want to go somewhere else to study or to receive teachings, then you need money. And if you fall sick or something happens, then you need money, for all these things. So the teacher always think about that and they save money for the monks, for the students.
제자가도 줄로도 판도 겁라야 안다 개개가 배나 고모동자 신가 되지 때나 수요나 다 같이 차서 메워서 내 우리 지우 메워서
So if when we go out to some place, like say for receiving teaching or something like that, then the teacher will give money, for us to spend, for the expenses. And then if like they give like 4,000 or 5,000 rupees, then we'll spend all of it. When we come back, we'll not bring any, so we'll spend all of it.
제가 자외는 근데 되게 신소도 빼줘요. 간나 지금 가로 다 레톡찬들이 최고 점수 되는 것까지 다 초회 걸더니 지금 요 말고 단다라 상이 사샤라 그랬어.
And so that kind of like of course there's somebody who is thinking for them, therefore they don't have to think about that, right? So they're just like whatever they find, they just enjoy it, So when they have money, they just spend, in eating and spending like that. So no need to worry. So very like happy go mind, worry free like that. And it's not like young monks, young like 5, 10 years or 15 years. And it's like grown-up monks also, like over 20 years monk also, like that. They don't think about saving.
제가 나왔지고 쇼제 가나 semna redoksharam 되게 was.
It's very happy go mind, so very, very relaxed and no need, because don't have so much worry and doubt or expecting so much things.
제가 단단한도 부고소제 부고소 배나 고무줄에는 고무제 배나 부고줄이나 고무줄다시나 고무줄에 자상 고매와서 쓸려고 되게 손으로 해다.
It's like here also, right? If you give $10 to a child, the child and to spend he will spend everything, and he'll come back, without any money, right? Just like that.
세상에 된게 선물 따다 대야소리죠. 대군이 배 샘랑 감드라다 지 샘팀에 동군이 배 샘발 흘려 여사로.
So that's a very, very relaxed, right? Very happy go mind. Yeah. So no need to worry, no tensions, no stress. Right?
세상도 된게 고사는 군이 된게 딱 감도 샘라야. 아니 샘라 레와 레와 뭐지 남도 뭐 다 대니게 되는 나도 남추되다.
So that's how our mind should be, But now our mind is mostly filled with the hopes and expectations and doubts, and so it's all filled with this kind of minds, which creates more stress and tensions.
제가 맨날 대처나서 생각은 뭐 자세히 qabla 배는 가도 다 저것도 버려. 그는 저거 작은 머리 칼라페 줘버다. 배나 단달로 서그럼지. 아니 샬라 마피행이라 빼 줘버려. 칼라도 빼 줘. 얘나 샘바지고 쇼에 나가서 로조치 돼. 로조면 샘바고 섬게 따요 말어. 디가 계실라면 점점 고무치 때 고무치 야 고무치. 야 고무치 잖아. 아니 가서 두바치다 공어치 그거래. 가디 때나 칼라 단다 사이나야. 단다 칼라 사이나 고무치 때나 대키도 사가는도 두바치도 공어치 사이. 대시 뭐요래.
So like, when I was studying in the monastery, it was very poor, we didn't have a good food. So they're always hungry, never had enough food, always hungry. But our mind was very happy. All and only worry we had was about the study, no worries about anything else. So our mind was only focusing on study. So only worrying about the study, not even worrying about study, but it's just focusing on that and no, worries about anything else. And so the food was very, poor at that time. Then later, Lama Zopa Rinpoche established this fund, for the food fund, for the Sera Monastery. And then since then everybody gets enough food and very good quality food. So it's very kindness of Lama Zopa Rinpoche and all the sponsors. But before that, the food was very poor. So Geshe Tsuga, will give us some money sometime, to go out and eat. And like at that time, 1 rupee had a good value. You can get 1 bowl of noodle and an egg. So when Geshe gives 1 rupee, then even if we just had a lunch, we'll still go and eat, 1 bowl of noodle and an egg, with 1 rupee.
제가 티갑다 다내가 티갑가도 보사를 왔더니 주라나 짭 진짜 그 사마 슈슈게 대기를 왔 아니 또 말을.
So, like that time, of course, I was very young and we were very active, always, doing the things, and also especially like debating very rigorously, at the monastery in the debate sessions. So therefore, I think maybe the food gets digested very easily, and we feel always hungry.
제가 아니 마트에도 가라 똥같이 무슨 그날 로 싱하자 똥같이 무슨 그야매 다 가지고 만 가도 간가다. 다 동가티서는 줄어요 말. 난 되대 거. 대자 니마치 동가티 니마치 온주티 오래. 온주 이제 되나 코트로 가요 말. 근데 중간도 너무 못 되버리 났다. 배 디가 나죠 쇼제. 쇼치네 포사 이제와.
So like I remember, I was so poor that I only had one the shirt, like a tonka. We call it tonka. That's the monk shirt. And then there's a vest inside, right? So we put a vest inside and then tonka outside. So I only had one tonka for several years. And if I wash tonka, then I can't go out. I have to stay in until it dries. And when it's dry, then I can go out. So when I wash the tonka, I can't wash the vest. Then otherwise I will be naked up. So my upper body will be naked. And so now I have to take a turn to wash. So when I'm washing the tonka, I can't wash the vest. When I'm washing the vest, I can't wash the tonka. So that's how poor I was, but mine was very, very happy. So that's me as example, but and that's how poor the monks were all in general.
이나 아니 로종 강가배 로종 빼요 단당아도 답이 로고리 신갈래가 로고리 아니 날 디버를 내가 뭐 채거든 로종 주고 말해.
But also everybody studies very hard, very good in studies, very hard. But of course, despite all the works that we have to do, all the chores, like working in the kitchen, preparing food for the whole monk, and working in the field, growing vegetables or crops, and cleaning the monastery around, all these things, all the chores we have to do. Despite that, we put a lot of time in doing the studies.
아니 남도 배나 대리 답이나 아니 드리고나 탐도 막고나 니야라고 말해. 건다 최저 판데 중이 담보 먼저 로종 치가라. 아니 되네 다 산이 갈아서 온 로래. 미모모서가 답이 아니 야 갈아라가 로래.
So when we are appointed cook, like the assistant cook, there's a main cook, who does the cooking. Then there will be like it's called several of us, appointed as the assistant cook. So when we are appointed as assistant cook at that day, then we don't even get to sleep because then you have to study until 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. Then around 1 o'clock we'll be summoned to come and help in the kitchen to prepare for the breakfast. Like thousands of monks, you have to prepare the breakfast for all of them. So you have to start from like early in the morning, like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock.
얘는 나도 답이도 깔래쳐요 막 답이 거기다 답이는 나 갈아요 사야라 그래.
But we don't feel unhappy to take the turn of being the assistant cook because when you are working in the kitchen, you got plenty to eat. So we're all like waiting, looking forward, to work in the kitchen, so we can get to eat a lot of food.
제가 다 땡음에 로지 다 굽주다와 나일리가 굽주다와 그러고 다 땡하나 단다 텔레줘와.
So that was the story, in the beginning when I first went there. That was like, during the 90s, and before that, of course there were so many monks before that they started. I think in the 70s, right? So before that, of course, even worse. The condition was even worse.
아니 대질라더니 다 Lama Zopa Rinpoche야. 아니 가이 파시 나와 레나야 살학발라 샬라지 다 거리시버. 아니 되네 나와지나 테마숨 되네 갈래가네 아니 아니 냐마다 바지야 되죠. 아니 가서 초백은 되지 배 갈아는 되지 배봐 아니 야부쳐서 그러봐.
And then so several years after I've been there, then Rinpoche started this food fund, Sera food fund, and then at the beginning it was only once a month, so one Wednesday of a month. Then after that, then 3 times in a month, and then after that, then like almost every day. So then there's like every day now. So they offer food, to the monks, free food to all the monks every day. And the food quality is also very good. So everybody's very nobody's hungry anymore.
다나지 디갑라야 간도 대사바당 간도 미기 단다 게스로미 와 간도 그 주소. 근데 지나라 자와 죽도 냠도 예대로 대사들이 장자래 컴바요 말어.
Not only the food, the living, quarters were also very poor. Like you might have seen, some of you might have seen, there's a guest in the room now. So that's for one person. But before at that time, like there would be like 6-7 of us sleeping in one room like that. So yeah, like the size of the the guest room at the center, that size.
제장 안에 다 드네지 이메가라 안에 다 라마 소파 린포체 네다 라마시 다 그마 패도 아지 드네 안에 라마 소파 린포체 게시 마보출로 파도 안에 나도나 게시 투가 파페 난 차라도 내가 좀 안으로 빠지 드네나 아니 미래를 전달해 좀 어렸네 아니 가봐야 다이나 다 단대 갑라이나 아니 사야다 대사강에 주천에 막배 야부차대.
So then later, of course, Lama Zopa Rinpoche started to invite geshes, right? Even during Lama Yeshe's time, they started to invite the geshes to go out to teach. And then, like in Geshe Tsulga also came here to teach. And then many of you met him and made offerings to him. And then also you sponsored the monks. And because of that, now the living space is very good. The food is very good. So there's no difficulties with the food and living quarters. And so now because of that, then they can spend all the time doing the studies. And then the study becomes very good now. So directly and indirectly, many of you have supported the teachings of Buddha to remain and spread, for the sanghas to survive. So you have accumulated a great amount of merit, directly or indirectly.
Lama Zopa Rinpoche 다 APMJ 다 주도사거든요. 무슨배 가도 배나 아니 다 로쪽 빼면 항상 로쪽 야부터 제어다.
So APMT and especially Lama Zopa Rinpoche has supported in a very great way for the monks to study.
제가 단다 전화서 된다다 거기 자와라야 이제나 자와 제대로 뭐 보였나 데브라 되나 봐지 데브라 로 마슈세 데브라 전화제 로 가세래.
Deborah, you've been sponsoring monk, right? For
how many
years now?
How many years? I don't remember. Maybe 10?
Really? Only 10?
Before Geshe Tsulga's time, right? During Geshe Tsulga's time?
Yeah.
Yeah, during Geshe.
Like you start like 90s
more than 10 years.
Yeah, more than 10 years, yeah.
Yeah, because he passed away 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Almost 10 years ago.
I think you did maybe like 90s. Maybe 95, 67 or
Yeah.
Anyway, I just like to share you guys on how monks in life, and also like you guys also part of that, directly, indirectly, each monk has also sponsor. You have one monk, 2 monks, some people have 2 monks, some people have 3 monks, Therefore, it's wonderful. 제가 안에 산지에 땜바 안 달바다 산지에 땜바 나와라. 야, 다 땜베진다. 아니 지금 땜데 제월로 빠치고 고요 봐.
So for the Buddha's teachings, to remain and to spread, well, you need the people who are doing the practice and studies, like the monks, and then for them to be able to study and practice, they need sponsors to support them.
제가 아니 대처랑서 아니 이슈 좋습니다. 간제 산지 땜바야 내야다. 겐데게 내 네트워크 때문에 펜도야 좋고요. 손은 거 좋아요 싸요. 소소 메시지라 깔리 잡히기 아니 되네게 딱 그런 우투수지 근데 겐데기 근데 산지 땜바 내야다. 아니 겐데게 강에서 정어대 다 먼저 주요는 시나 간제다 먹어발다 서로 키에 요샤래.
So you have supported in many different ways, directly and indirectly, for the teachings of the Buddha to remain and for the sanghas to thrive, and so you have accumulated a great amount of merit. So something that you worked hard, and then spent part of it, to do that, and that's the part that you can take with you when you go away from this life.
하는 이제 자와서 소소변나 샘라 쇼요는 난다다 그런 좀 봐. 네 전다사지네. 샘라 쇼요레스. 가데나 물음 잡되겠다. 고 양삼 전화도 얘기해다 되는 말이나 다 가르치 아까워나 쌈 세바다. 다고 생각도 이게 지야다 뭐뭐 강연 tre다 요한다. 그러다 이나 자와서 샘라 가리요래. 네 전다세. 가데나 다 요요하래 된다. 가데나 전화도 물음 잡되요.
So the monks have this grasping as mind, grasping at mind. very strong grasping at mind. So like my sponsor. So because you're sponsoring to them, so there's like my sponsor. So they're thinking about you and praying for you all the time. Letters, and they feel very happy. And if they don't hear from you, then they get worried. What happened to my sponsor?
제가 다 대상 땅가도 빠르게 받으셔 보도입니다. 내마에는 안에 수입가는 안에 잡아서 빠르게 세케와 안에 내내 전다서 빠르게 파크를 잡아서 좀 나래. 님이 지단 이바다는 잡아서 나래 잡아서 빠르게 해요 버렸어. 제가 대셔나 잡아서 제가 빠르 토대.
And so now, of course, you have the internet through which you can see all the things, right, very easily. But before, everybody like when Anisu, Venerable Su was coordinating the sponsorship for the monks, and that time she used to come over there and take pictures of the monk and bring it to the sponsors, give it to the sponsors, and then also she would take the picture of the sponsor and give it to the monks. So each monk will have the picture of their sponsor. And they see them all the time, looking at them and praying for them all the time. And so you're also receiving the prayers all the time from them. So they're receiving support from you, you're receiving prayers from them, so benefiting both in each other. So this is, I don't know if it makes sense or not, but I just wanted to share with you. It's the important part, it's like just like one of the 10 endowments is to have the people who are supporting you, sponsors, right? Like that. And also there is a prayer, of Lama Tsongkhapa, and like to flourishing the teachings of the Lama Tsongkhapa, where you also, pray, for there to be sponsors and supporters, to the teachings of the Buddha and, to the practitioners of the Buddha's teachings.
제가 단 잠잠 가르나 간도 벤나 배외가 남주 셔도나 따야라. 다 지진 고세라는 다 무쇼여 삼겨르스. 남주 삼다 대여르스. 고세나다.
And also there's a mentality, of the Easterners, people like Tibetans and Indians, and they always think if you are a Westerner, then you always have a lot of money. Especially if you are blonde, then you have a lot of money. And they don't know the fact that how many of us here are struggling to pay for the food.
And
it's not like, the money just grows, falls from tree like that. Here also people have to work very hard to earn the money.
제가 남주 계속 발라거든. 아니 근데 지대까지 전다징에도 변한 가 다만 대행메스. 다만 대행무도 사는가 잡아질래 아니 전다징이잖아. 가시 가 니마지 커피 컵인 통이었어. 딱 컵찍만 통이면 컵찍인무도 사네. 애들이 로버징이들 계속 발라거든. tengo는 레도 너 레도.
So Geshe Tsuga used to tell us, that sponsors and people take money out of their spending. People take the money out of their spending, to sponsor you. So you have to be very thankful and don't think that, money just grows, in the trees for them. They have to work very hard. Some people, they give up their, lifestyle, and like they said, some people said, okay, I'll quit smoking. So the money that I spend on smoking, I'll, spend that for sponsoring the monk. And then there's some people say that I drink 2 cups of coffee every day. So now I'm going to cut it down to 1 cup of coffee, and 1 cup of coffee money I will, spend to sponsor a monk like that.
아니 미카시 아니 라그레스 아니 출로라 통과라 친지 아니 다 모두 배제 세마도 주르르지 강 요와 로치사 되네 강 요와데 네 지된다 소리를 들으지 대땡고는 레도 와다 너와 문에 들어와 와.
And some people also say that changes, the changes they get from shopping, and they will accumulate that, and then they will spend that money to sponsor a monk.
제가 아니 라그레 코나 짝기 르르데 아니 사제 트윈 잡아고스 아니 다 일래라고 선한들 말에 몸 잡고 그래서 안 로조야 붙이고 그래서 어떻게 내가 잡아 오늘에도 와.
So that becomes taking the money in that way, like when the sponsors give you money, then you take the money, right? That becomes a stealing. If you don't, do the thing that sponsors giving you money to do, the sponsor give you money so that you can practice, so you can study. That's your doing. So if you don't do that, then it becomes like a stealing. It's the money wasn't taken for the purpose it was given, and therefore it becomes like a stealing. So we don't call it stealing, in Tibetan word, but we call kor, which means like stealing. So taking the money, given for using for the purpose. Well, not using for the purpose it was given. So, and if you do that, then that's what they say. Like, if you want to take a money like that, offering, people sponsor money, sponsor pujas, to do prayers for them, and you have to do it. If you don't do it properly, then the money that you take becomes stealing, and that is very, 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 very heavy negative karma. And they said that in order to be able to chew the money given like that, you have to have a jaw, iron jaw, to chew that money like that.
제가 가진 건데 지나서 다 야보를 간제 들리셔야 돼요. 가진 소소고 소는 거 썩배 납치 못 사게 그러와.
So anyway, I mean, that's from the part of the monk side. So we're very careful in using the money that was offered to them. And and then from your side, of course, you have fully, honestly, with the wholeheartedly offer the money, and you create a great amount of merit by doing that.
Okay, I don't know why I have to talk that. Time's finished. 제가 당간에 당간도 미세대 간제 파티 직대세 두드려도 와. 간조 지제솔라야 다 남비 주고 랍자 되고요래. 아니야. 다 남바 챙에도 두드려야 지 쇼로네 때까지 뺀주고 되는 던진 거거든. 다 파티 직때 말해도 와.
So yeah, so people who are studying practicing Dharma, they always need a support, to do that. And then also the Westerners, like here, we need people, to teach them, give them the Dharma teachings. So we're all depending on each other.
제가 안에 강들, I don't know why to talk about that. Anyway, like that, how and 간데 다 조 당기들에 간지 수수 샘라야 레토시라면 빼 지워다. 무슨 다 조대다. 가정이마 다 가서 잡아 주려는 영조로 왔어. 나 주주가마 다 가다 뭐 잡아들 록 죽고차들 그 주주께 말어 소소 섬다는 거래. 이번에 얘는 계산에 뭐 가세 내가 탑시면 그다 내가 싸고 삼촌 걸 많이 로모부지면서.
So anyway, so where this came from was, like being relaxed, being happy-minded, and not worrying too much and not desiring too much. So I need this, I need that, not thinking like that. And because of that, I need to, save money for this, save money for that. You have to worry like that, right? So if you don't have that, then you'll be worry-free and happy go mind and like that. So that's where it came from, right? And so the monks, then I was giving the example of the monks and how they live happily like that. Even though they have so much difficulties physically and financially, but mind-wise, their mind is very happy like that, not worrying and not having doubt, so things like that. And so, this is the monks, the mentality, at that age. Of course, when you become teacher yourself, then your mind will change. But, so especially the young monks, so when I went to monastery, I wasn't young. I wasn't a little kid. I was already 19 or 20 years old. And so even at that age, I always thought about thought about a means, to get money from the teacher.
제장아도 부고서 지금 부고서 내가 대화체나 걔 밤에 녀바테그라. 나도 대나지 체그래. 걔가 소야 로좀 야보지 어두자 지야보잖아. 야 녀바테그래. 제장아도 대나지 체그래. 뺏지워요.
So just like the parents will reward the kids with chocolate or money when they do good, then at the monastery also the teachers will do the same to the monks, to the disciples. And so if we study well, do well, then the teacher will reward us.
뭐 제가 강대 다 대내가 당가 단대 쉬어야 될 당가도 아니 내받은 내 선발에 당가도 특해야 개요 말에 나도 야보 종요를 나도 두보 종요를 나도 사만이 좀 러바 종요를 말러바 종요를 갖고 타사버려.
And like not worrying too much about the past, especially so whatever happened has happened already. There has been happened many good things and happened many bad things, but so whatever we have done in the past, whatever we have carried with us now, we have that with us, so no need to worry so much about the past.
산이 동안 되니요. 아니 로제미 동안 단다 용어 되니가 삼모 땅을 땅간도 대매와자 삼좀 되게 semba 맞게 왔다. 대 삼모 땅 막고 왔지.
And also so if you're thinking about future studying and practicing in the future, then you take all the sufferings, all the worries of tomorrow. You take the worry of next year, you take all on this today. Without everything like that.
제가 간다 나도 대삼 도구마도 다 아니 산이 가려와 나니 된 남부 장장을 대가도 섬슈 tro도 다대 삼탐 거지 다 데리카 저한테 팁타지지 다 산이 내다고 용어쇼 섬서주 제야대 제제 티콜라틱 삼마 장장 담마도 대가도 샘발을 용 편사대.
So don't think what's going to happen tomorrow, how I'm going to do this tomorrow and all this. Don't worry about that, Just do good today and then be happy with what you have done today, and then just say, may I be able to do like this, like do well like today, and may I be able to do well tomorrow also, like just like I did today. And thinking like that, you don't have to worry. So don't worry so much.
제가 아니 삼로 단다 로종은 냠내서 빼는 것이 뭐래도 와.
So this is very important, the way we think, and like the practice of the mind training is very important.
야 담담다 전화도 변나다 남배 주고도마다 삼삼 당가면에 졸라 쉬운로 잘 맞춰서 마보 졸라도 삼사야 삼라치 마가와다 아니지 당가 투선 졸라도 되네서 맞더니 지금 삼고 말했다 나 난도 좋아된 적대요래.
And also don't worry thinking that I spent all this time not studying and not practicing, that was such a waste. So of course it's been like that, but no point worrying about that now, right? So what's gone is already gone, so can't do anything about that, but be happy that at least you have the opportunity to practice and study now, and do your best now, and then also hope that you'll be able to do like that in the future.
대단하지가 소소 뒤전 돌아 줘야 말이야. 소소 단다가 이제 미냠도 줘야 와 소소 소 제대로 해 봐. 되대요.
So you haven't wasted your time. You have done so much to be able to walk with other people together, and so that's you have done something. So haven't wasted your time.
제가 나도 삼삼 로종 그 데부터 막 올라고 타는 나도 샘나 챙라. 당가도 빼 놓고 종샤 삼들 드리저 삼고 말해. 드리 삼여 말. 내가도 sabza 맞네 대 나도야 샘 헬레요 탑라야 샘 주도 용도와.
So when we're studying and practicing the mind training, so sometimes you might feel like that, I wasted so much time, I shouldn't have done this, like that, So if we don't think in proper way, then our studying, can take us to have more worries.
오다 제다다 아니 그 니레니레 아니 소소가 정화될 롱쇼 아니야. 그 간톱득제 아니 샘바치오다 간제 솜 샘발 흘려주나 딴 가지고 대차도 와.
And so anyway, try your best, to do whatever you can, do well at that time when you're doing, and don't worry too much about in the future. So it's your mind will be more relaxed in that way.
제가 배나 단대 받으면 잠블릭은 세리께라 쳐모도 가리 뭐 가래나 만족 배나 수보다 대단 영화 수보다 딱 자세히만까지 수보다 대단 가리 영화 아니 수보라 강에 대 동아도 가리 마요 제고 지금 세야가 탑시 맨강에 바이나레 단 세리 야제 당와 맨에 바이나 저 강에 치마다 샘컴과 삼전 담도 와.
So up to now, like on all the scientists, doctors or scientists, when they think about how to make our body and mind healthy and comfortable, I always think about the medicines, looking for the means outside to how to develop this medicine so that that can make us happy or make our body happy like that. But they never think about developing their own minds.
제가 안에 당간조 그 남배 추나라 지금 샘컴 그래 봐. 안에 지금 샘 헬레 영화 콜다 로조만 뭐요래. 제가 가도 막 알던데 인사래 근데 연발에 삼 자잖아 그냥 말이야. 다 소소 달아나 판 주고도.
And so in Buddhism, there are many teachings or scriptures that's written about how to train our mind, and explained. So you think this way, think that way, and so forth. So if you just think that, oh, this is how it is, this is how it is, then it doesn't help. You have to engage, yourself into that thoughts or into that practice. Any of you know how to dance well? Body dancing. So if you think that, if you just look at the people dancing there and says, oh, dancing well, then you don't learn anything just by looking at it. You have to jump in, inside the group, of the people dancing there, and then you just move, all parts of your body, and then you will become a good dancer. And so just like that, all these teachings on the mind training, you should not just look at it and think, oh, that must be like that, it must be like that, but actually, engage or generate those thoughts in your mind. So the medicine for the mind, is the way you think. So from the way you think, you change your mind. Because the mind, is formless. It doesn't have a form. So a physical medicine cannot help the formless mind fully. Of course, it may serve as a condition for some, for some things, but it will not, be able to cure the mind fully. So from the way the things appear to our mind, our mind can change, right? And so that's how we have to strive to change our mind. So therefore, like I said before, think about the positive. Think about the good quality of the person. And don't only think about the bad qualities, but think about the good qualities. It's not like the person doesn't have good quality and you're just making it up. Then that would be false, right? But actually people have. And so you can think about that. And that will make you feel good about them. And also, when you are able to separate the person from his emotions, then will be also helpful. Like if somebody is angry at you, then or says something bad to you, instead of becoming angry at the person, blame it to the afflictive emotion from the person. So, oh, it's because of that he's saying this. So it's not bad. It's his afflictive emotion that's saying bad things to me. Because when he or she says something bad to make you angry, didn't have the intention to make you angry. It says, oh, I'm going to make this person angry, so therefore I'm going to say this. It's not like that. So the reason why they don't have that kind of plannings in their mind, it's just like you don't have plannings like that in your mind when you cause somebody to be angry at you, right? Have you ever caused anybody to be angry at you?
Do you feel, oh, someone get with me?
So just like when you cause somebody to be angry at you, you didn't have any intention. So okay, I'm going to make this plan today to make him angry. Therefore, I'm going to say this, I'm going to do that, and so forth. You never had thought like that, right? It's just from where you say something, where you did something, and of course, you know, and how the other person takes it, you know, and because of all that, then other person becomes angry at you. And so anyway, think about all the things, you know, that helps your mind most, you know, and then think about that.
And then sozo labja kare pena teyan sozo tropo tromo ngoshibo pa shena kazo kundigo sozo sozo kan shiwati mishambala shetna yaboyore kundigo.
And then whatever you know, helpful methods you find, then share that with others. Yeah? So any instructions, any methods, any teachings that you find helpful to yourself, and you know, it's just like His Holiness said, you know, and it's good to share with others.
Kare nga tinamachi yo ngado getu jireya. Ta ko kona ga namina na chi chuaro redo. Ina nami de kange kola rewa jaga dos. Ko kunzo ko karo advice lensa charo dos. Kana chira number tilla ko tel lagu dos. Ina cheza
ko karesa
ta nami kange chi labja lensa dos. Kana kona nami so ta namba isa maro ina. Kona ge nami su ta kola ko labja lensa do. Ana kona la da ko ta nami chuju ro re ina ko labja mi se ke jay mi da. So I
don't remember the person's name, but there was this guy who was the youngest in the family, but because he was a Buddhist, others were not in the family. And then they are all like, you know, hoping to get advice from him. He said, you know, I am the youngest, you know, I don't have, but I don't have, and I don't feel like giving advice to them, but they're all hoping because he's a Buddhist. You know, so there's I don't remember who was it, but there was somebody like that. And so like that, you know, if you can share or give advice, you know, to your friends or families, and then that's very good, because even if you can benefit one person, that's good.
Sedanda Lam-rim nasares ane soso sem tulmena na rama de jende karo ranga sema de jende to marse je tengone resendo.
But in our case it's quite difficult, right? Because you know, we ourselves are not tamed, and you know, giving advice to somebody to tame their mind, you know, not easy and possible either, because it's in the said in the Lam-rim, right? You can't tame others' mind if your mind, yourself's mind is not tamed. But I mean, whatever you can, you know, like, you know, that's one thing, you know. But other thing is that you can still share, you know, what you know. It says, oh, from this person, he said like that, so maybe it might be helpful to you. So you can share in that way.
제가 단답변에 단대가로 시당 전에 다 장보는 보시다 라마나가 속까지는 담벨레가 가서 배에 남바스나 남바시다 남바스나 그 세외 전에 그 따다 야가지 연구를 줄고 시작해.
And by the kindness of His Holiness, the Lama, and many other gurus, teachers, you know, people have a good, you know, reputation, you know, about Buddhism. It says whenever they think about, you know, Buddhism or Buddhists, they always kind of, you know, look in a positive way.
제가 야다디 미 가지 그야 남바 안에 두샤치들은 망보여다 다 간제 메테다 아니 시당 남바도 가잖아 야번 가 남지 야보여. 다들 남들 제식도 제식이요 말해.
And of course, there are some people who take the name of being a Buddhist, but then, you know, do all the wrong things, and they can cause problem, you know, to others. Others can see in a bad way. But then again, you know, it's the person, not Buddhism. You know, so we have to be able to distinguish, you know, between Buddhist and Buddhism and a person.
제대로 나가서 빼차잖아. 배에 자외 야보 제가 문으로 소소 선을 셨나? 근데 소소 개개가 되나 순으로 다시.
And so, like, you cannot generalize, you know, everybody in that, because it's one individual person who's doing bad, right? And can't say that. So if you see one monk, you know, doing bad, then you can't say, oh, the Tibetan monks are very bad. If you say Tibetan monks are very bad, then your teacher can be also a Tibetan monk. You will be included in there.
제가 남주 단다 군대고 송도 변아. 가시도 가시처럼 개요 말이야. 가시 좀 잡았는데 가시가 야보면 돼서 라요 말이야. 가시 추야 보면 돼서 라요 뭐 송도 왔다. 손nen가도.
And so just like that, not only Buddhism, like even in Islam, there's a bad reputation in some because of some people, right? And so His Holiness mentioned about that. He said you can't, blame the Islam for some people, some Islamics doing bad. Some Islamics, not all the Islamics. So some in Islamics, doing bad, and because of that, you can't say Islam is bad.
오케이 되지 다 지내다 가상가도 가지 다 되는 마 성무당다 다 내가 가도 성무당다 가지 가서 다 나제 냠제 그 상식고 생겨다 대마 로데 다 가서 나제 냠제 거 랩데 와스 대마 로종 된다 마 단데 마 선이 갈래 나도 빼자면서 따 먹어 왔지 아니 로종 된다 막이 제단데 로종 된 되요래 된거 봐 나도 지 빼자다 되는 담담때 팬도 매워서는 동어도 지 아니 삼로랑 다 고랑 정도 두신 나도 이다스.
Just like it is said in this text, about the 7-point thought transformation teaching, it's all about mind training, right? So taming your mind, and it's starting with exchanging, equalizing and exchanging self with others. So all these are about mind training, and so there are like 7 points, of the mind training. We don't have to go each and every word, like in the text. Sometimes it's a little bit more confusing, when we go through the text exactly, but we'll just, talk in general that applies to our day-to-day life. Yeah? And then, but we'll still cover all the 7 points in that way.
아니 단단데 단단 람름랑 나말 송송한 조선의 변에 진짜 명아 되지 거네 아니 상처좀 깨게 되다 예바이나 아니 다제냠제 거네 상처sem 지와데 로슈 쳐와인자 거네가 제바 송바레스 용도와.
And so, in the Lam-rim teaching itself, it also explains about that method of generating bodhicitta through equalizing and exchanging self with others. And it says that, of course, you can generate bodhicitta through the 7-fold cause and effect instruction alone, but it's more courageous, to generate bodhicitta through equalizing and exchanging self with others. Therefore, equalizing and exchanging self with others is explained specifically for generating bodhicitta.
아니 더 지내다 간지 싸워 쉬운죽지 아니 드네 봐 아니 단좀 때마다 조지던 좀 때마다 마 저는 가서 로종 죽고들 내용이래.
And of course, this is mainly based on the teachings, by Shantideva on the Guide to the Buddhist Way of Life, right? So that explains, the teachings and the teaching method of equalizing and exchanging self with others for generating bodhicitta, and that was passed down, to so to all the way, to like Lama Atisha, and then from there to Domtamba, and then to Lama Tsongkhapa, like that, right?
어도 제마다 단데서 반나 로종 것도 다 해마이나 고 상와면서 미 터모 많이 봐자 다 두자 야가도 뭐 강갈래 시에 인사 말아 봐. 다 되니 아니 계시 시작하게 감내마 아니다. 아니 같아 뭐 뭐라 단데 상와 지잖아 야보면 된다. 내 원에 단데 강갈 고 누워서네 아니 막 강가와 송와레스들이 시에도와.
So because of this being a very intense practice and courageous, practice to do. And therefore, it was not taught in public, because not everybody can do it. And therefore, it was done in secret. Secret in a sense, like it was passed down from one to one, from teacher to disciple, like that, in a secret manner, not going into public. But then, Geshe Chekawa's time, from the Geshe Chekawa's time, he saw that it was so beneficial. He thought that, people, should know it. And then from there, it became more public.
제가 된데가 로종사다 가르나 간지 다다 제 다다지랑 내가 나도 시치 뭐 제세 파코야 터지 다티 로드니 조자가 맞아 나 다가이 아니 나 제스 조자 마스 카르바 이나 삼보다도 조자고 뭐
No, it says in equalizing and exchanging self with others. This exchanging self with others. It's not like self becoming other and others becoming self. It's not changing in that way. It's just the thought. And so instead of thinking for oneself, we usually always think about oneself. And I want this, I want that. Like the selfish thought, cherishing, self-cherishing thought. So instead of having that self-cherishing thought for yourself, you cherish others more than yourself. So the exchanging the thought, not the person itself.
제가 대통령 다 가네는 다 이제 까디 공고다 반에 제세를 맨날 가서 반에 전에 초 못하바로 그래도 그래도 지나 삼다나.
So how do we make it possible to be able to cherish others, right? We cherish all the time ourselves, all the time. And now we're advised to cherish others. So in order to cherish others, think about the kindness of others. If you can't think about the kindness of others, you will not be able to cherish others. So think about the kindness of others, how others are so kind for our, even for our survival. Everything that we have is by the kindness of others.
차 주인은 단단가서 인터넷에 종이 밑에까지 침보려 왔어.
So for example, like now the internet, is by the kindness of others, right? The person who invented the internet is very kind, isn't it?
이나 간저가 밑에까지 침보 설명하고 보면 나무트에서 나와도 공치모도 책이라 한다.
But we never think like that, right? We always think that, that person is not kind at all. I'm paying money, for this. I'm paying so much money every month, for this internet.
제가 남중간도 삼다다 다람 두째 삼다다 여러 번 당에 인터넷 콘첸트로도 폰 콘첸트로도 나도 대 삼다다 미팅 원인 까리 첨부제 오늘 네 팬도 쇼고 누가 가서 그걸 삼단계요 말아. So
we always think I have internet because I paid for it. We never think I have internet because he invented it. Or a company made it available for us. Right? We never think like that. We always think I paid for it, therefore I have. Always like that. We never think about others being kind to us, in that that they provided, and they invented that. That's a simple example.
다당가도 로드 수수지도 로드 송에도 까리 첨보라는 가도 수소야 하고 말이다. 로 빌리다 마모 토고도 가도 가디 내 녀라 셔대로.
And of course, then this internet depends on the light also. So that's one thing, right? The light, without the light, you can't have all these things, right? And the light, without the electricity, we can't have the light. And so, who invented the electricity? That person is very kind, for us to be able to have this light, right? We don't think about the kindness. Instead, we complain every month I have to pay so much bill for the electricity.
제가 대소 의외로 당근도 가르치면 의외로 와. 간지 팬도는 가르치면 공고로 와.
So it's the reality, right? That they have been really kind to us. They have been benefited us, and if they have benefited, then they've been kind to us.
제가 다 드링 산이변은 담블라 로다 인터넷면나 담블링 뭐자샤 굽조대 파제 내도 말해.
So nowadays, at this modern time, if there is no electricity and internet, 90% of people will not be able to live.
만약 로 작은 내라 로다 인터넷면나 뭐자샤 자네 자샤 굽조대 내도 그랬어. 자샤 주소 배제 당연히 면나.
So maybe 100 years ago, if there was no electricity and internet, maybe 100%, 90% people will be able to live. And maybe only about 10% of people who depended on electricity.
다 upside down.
Now it's upside down.
그냥 나도 로버레셔. 내가 가 이거 갈라 로스야 돼. 인터넷에 지금 요 말 다 대사 미 간갈도 되면은 달로 요 말서 깨져도 내가 나도 램추 유지 봐야 다 되게.
So because like when I was young, kid, I lived in nomad. I lived in the nomad life, and there's no electricity at all. And all we have is a small lamp, and that's good enough. We never had any electricity, never had any internet, of course, nothing like that. But now everybody needs electricity and internet. And if you don't have electricity and internet, they all complain about it.
세상한테 도대체 다 되게 의외내서 팬도와들 삼다. 근데 삼다 가도 로데다 로라까지 로 존스나다 로라 칼레 그런 게 왔다 먹어 봐. 칼레 그 삼다.
And so now like that, thinking like that, and how beneficial it is, to have the light and to have the electricity and to have the internet, all these things. So, and then think about how we got it. It's because of these people who invented and who produced, and because of that, we are able to have and think about their kindness in us having provided these things for us.
Okay, the love Jones and Otoche Samda, Tenage and Kale, Tambo Sosu Kellen Toa the Samda.
And so that's example. So then other things, many other things that you have, everything that we have is by the kindness of others. It's provided by others, even though we pay, but it's all invented and produced by them, right? Provided by them. So that's why we're able to help. So think about that. All those things that you can think, that can fit in your mind. And then after that, then you can get, more and more comprehensive. Then think about other things that are more difficult to think of, being others' kindness.
제가 잘라도 저는 담보소소 키트야 돼. 주주대 지게. 근데 야 때에서 아파. 근데 때에서 아파. 때에서 빠요. 담보도 첨보지는 첨보대 펠자네니 저는 좀도 잘 모르봐.
And so like if we can, when we carry things, we carry the things that we can carry. Yeah? Don't carry the things that you can't carry, right? So you carry something that you can carry, and then you can increase, or then you can carry more, and then more and more like that. You can go like that. If you try to carry a very heavy thing from the beginning, then you give up, carrying anything.
제가 담보소소 강 좋아도 단단 믹스 소소 샘나 강캔 렌터와데 갈래 지네. 그 곰자거든. 삼노당 곰자 니마타와 곰자 갈래 그러지네. 데코 갈래게 로드 저원 로고 살다 간지.
And so yeah, think about the things that you can think that makes sense to you, and that is easy for you to think about, and then think about all those things, and you get your mind familiar with that, and then you can move on to the other things.
제가 맨날 이야라 깨야 잘랐다 룰럭에는 룰도 싫어 그러와.
So just like the load that's carried by a yak, if you put that load on a goat, the goat will die.
제가 수수 샘나 강 태바데 콜라 삼로타나 아니 코 갈래 때는 저원도 그래.
And so whatever makes sense to your mind, think about that first, and then you can move to more complicated things.
Okay. I think you guys are here today a lot of stories. Okay, any questions? Some serious questions? Hey, Mark, are you sleeping there? My neighbor. I think my neighbor is sleeping there. Okay, if you don't have questions, just try to a little bit, slowly, thinking that, yeah, yes, Ed. You mood. You have to unmute.
I think I'm unmuted.
Yeah, good.
Earlier, you mentioned remembering bad things from the past. Now, if I get angry with someone in the past, the cause of that anger is obviously my karma, their karma. When I recall that getting angry, what's the cause of that recollection, particularly if it's like unspontaneous, if it's spontaneous? What's the cause of that recollection?
Nima nganzo mijila kondo saba ina, na kondo saba de sasa da, de deba. Dija nganzo da chaya kaya ma dena, da de kondo saba de nganzo temba ina yang sem tudu ra. Nima mide nga dukja dene cheso ra ne chik kondo saba tenya jira, de tenya de kaya juchi biores.
Tete tango du semla to pacha jena, te suju semla mambo nyade ke taru re, nyade ke taru.
It's the imprint in your mind. And also holding that thought in your mind, which is the imprint, of that thought in your mind, that's causing you to have that recollection.
예전에는 너도 배나 자자 자도도 말해 배나 님의 공배나 내서 슈종 수수 텔레직 슈체나 고난 텔미는 당고도 자자 자도도 말아와. 간다 수수 셈텔 슈 수데 비타노.
So like sometimes, not always, but sometimes, when we think, when we are engaged in something very strongly in the daytime, then we see that in the dream also. It's not like every time, but sometime, right? So it's just like that.
제가 간도 배나 셈나 바짝 슈 가세 채웠던지 대파 도리야 돼 빨리 가요 살.
And so if you become angry at somebody, because they did something bad to you, and if it was very small anger, then you will not even think about it. And if it was really bad anger, big anger, and something very serious happened, and then you'll be thinking more and more about that at that time. And then how much strongly you engage in that delusion, that much strong imprint it will leave in your mind. And so because of that, then it comes back to your mind again and again.
근데 저도 주주가 단단하게 주주가 같이 네트까지 다다 세우 제대로 용도야 돼. 근데 다 약도 강하 여러 봐.
So some of the things that happen in your childhood time, do you remember it very clearly even now?
제가 가도 돼. 배는 삼삼 배는 다 소소 가고 끼고 쉬워져. 야 삼삼 강에 오던 책인도 와. 대 뒤값을 간에 텔레야 딱으로 니바 체중이 잘 돼.
So something very bad or something very good happened, to you in your life during the childhood time, and you can still remember that because that's something very strong, happened to you, and you left very strong imprint in your mind about that.
나 단다 주주가 책도 된다. 근데 공부할 때 되고 그래야. 다 투바지 또 디나 공화지로 사다 심쇼에 갈아 심쇼 단다 쳐야 되거든.
So I still recollect, the bowl of noodle and an egg. At that time when I didn't have a good food to eat, I still remember that very clearly. But now, when I go back and eat that noodle, it's no more delicious. I don't feel that delicious anymore.
야, 셴바이 가 직대도 가 주주가랑 가랑 빼나 야 나로 주주지. 야, 나도 야 나로 세로. 근데 나도 배우를 속에 야가 나한테 푹 대라 향지데 근데 나도 쉬었네 따는 쉬었는 거야 이랬어. 근데 그 가와는 가도 쳐줘. 나라 주주고 야 우리 주주지. 다 주지다는 마다 간지 빼야고 날 빼 가오체. 간지 다니 샤요. 아니 니마치 고 gond한 살다가 남중아도 그 나가 말 깨다 마치. 나 따는 점점 semje shambadre yung chichena ko na ko ni gar nimaji kare na ka tonga ko goda ngado ta na ta do ni je goda ko semje chi ko dongal ni chichene ko na ko sani na shuta ta nga semle te karo sem paboje 다나가 te semle pi semje koran go sopta 아니 간에 차다 강가 차내도.
So like in the nomads, in the nomad we have yak, to ride on, and then when you have what do you call that, the ring on the nose, on the yak, so then you tie it with a rope, and then you hold it. You ride on the yak, and then you hold the rope on the hand, and then whichever direction you pull, it will walk on that way. So you can ride that way. And you pull some of them this way, something that way. So the ring on the nose is just to hold the rope and then direct it to the direction you want to go. But in the night, when you tie the yak, you don't tie it by the nose, because it's very sensitive, and it's kind of fragile, not very strong, right? So if if they pull strongly, it can just break, they tear the nose. So therefore, we usually tie it on the neck. The neck collar, you tie it there. But so this yak was, so I had this yak, very small, of my size, and it was very nice, I feel, we feel very close. The yak was very nice to me, and I was very nice to yak, so we feel very close. And one night, I forgot, to tie it by the neck, and I left it with the nose. And then, sometimes the yaks will fight with each other, and when they come back, then they try to run away, or they're forced, to go towards the yak. And somehow he did, and then he broke his nose. So we forgot to tie it by neck, and he left it with the nose, and then it was and then he was bleeding, and it's the torn nose. So I feel so bad, and I can still remember very clearly, that incident. So the horse, you have them in the mouth, right? So the what do you call that? The
Bit.
Bit.
What was that?
Bit. B-I-T.
Oh, bit, yes. So the yaks, they use on the nose. So the horse they have in the mouth. The yak they use in the nose. So that incident, of my little yak tearing his nose and bleeding, I can still remember very clearly.
야 니마지 그같이 유소 야 야강아 쉬고 그같이 유소 가 윤네 까마까지 제발 더서 이거나 야 대신 제치 문든가.
And then one time also he threw me. When I was riding on him, he threw me, and I fell on my head and I was unconscious. And I still remember that also.
제가 간지 직직 다티가 간지 수수 삼라지 숙마도 채워진다 단다 테메데도 인도 시당 이다로.
So yeah, anyway, I think that how strongly you live, that incident in your mind, that thought in your mind, that much, recollection you will have of that.
Okay. Yeah, I have so many stories for when I was in nomad time, in the nomad life, it's very simple, very simple, but also very like a happy way, you can play with the animals. Animals are very nice. Animal knows, sometimes, even we talk about Dharma way, that the animals it's a dumb, right? Like Kurukulla, but they really know the who makes you, who taking care of you, who makes you, taking care, Even we use them, but they really know, they also really know. When we are with them, they think, we protect some like animals, some, how is that? Who kills? Wolf, yeah. Also, you can sleep in the ships nighttime with the ships, very warm. Sometimes they pee you on the ear. Because, you can see, the ships in winter time, the ships are very close to each other. They sleep very close to each other. They go very cold. You also between them. Then they don't move, they just, they eat again. Then, they just sleep. Then, the animals, especially the sheep, if they want pee, they don't get up. They just pee anytime. Poo over. Then you just also in there, but very warm. Sometimes they poo themselves, pee everything. There's so many, with the animals also very nice, I spend with the animals a lot of times. They have a lot of interest like that. Okay, thank you. Now we'll stop. You can pray.
Saji perki jikshin me tok tram ri rab ling shi ni de gen pa di sange jing du make te uwagi drokon nam dak jing la chur par shu je tsun la me kutse rab ten jing nam ka trin ne chok chur ge pa dang lo san ten pe dren me sasum gi roe mun tel tak tu ne gyur chig idam guru ratna mandalakam niryatayami. For my two collections vast a space that I have amassed from working with Everett at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds' wisdom eye is blinded by ignorance. Even if I do not reach this state, may I be held in your loving compassion for all my lives, Manjushri. May I find the best of complete created paths of the teachings, and may I please all the Buddhas by practicing. Using skillful means drawn by the strong force of compassion, may I clear the darkness from the minds of all beings with the points of the path as I have discerned them. May I uphold the Buddha's teachings for a very long time. With my heart going out with great compassion in whatever direction the most precious teachings have not yet spread or once spread have declined, may I reveal this treasure of happiness and aid. May the minds of those who wish for liberation be granted bounteous peace, and the Buddha's deeds be nourished for a long time. By even this great course to enlightenment completed due to the wondrous virtuous conduct of the Buddhas and their children. May all human and non-human beings who eliminate adversity and make things conducive for practicing the excellent paths never be parted in any of their lives from the purest path praised by the Buddhas. Whenever someone makes an effort to act in accordance with the tenfold Mahayana virtuous practices, may they always be assisted by the mighty ones, and may oceans of prosperity spread everywhere. In that snow mountain encircled land, source of every benefit and joy, may Lord Tenzin Gyatso Chen Rezig remain in life till samsara's end. Savior of the Snowland Teachings and Transmigratory Beings, who extensively clarifies the path of unified sentience and compassion, with the lotus in the hand, Lord Tenzin Gyatso, I beseech, may all your holy wishes be fulfilled. You who uphold the subduers moral way, who serve as a bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving, and spreading Mahayana's victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplishes magnificent prayers honoring the three jewels, Savior of myself and others, your disciples, please, please live long. Through this virtue may I swiftly, having gained Guru Buddha state, place each and every sentient being transcription in that state. Precious Supreme Bodhi mind, may it where unborn arise, and where born never decline, but increase forevermore. Igmate se we chen rizik, remake and pay wang po jam pelyan, gong chen ke pe su gen Tsongkhapa, lo sang drag pe Jabla Solvade. Thank you, Geshe. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Geshe.
Thank you, Geshe.
Thanks. Thank you, Krishna.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Nice to see you.
Thank
Wonderful
you, Jangchub.
day.
Thank you, Geshe.
Announcements that will, in addition to, look at the calendar, a lot going on this week, in addition to Geshe Tenley's teaching on Wednesday. On Thursday, we'll be doing guitar practice on Zoom at 7 o'clock. And then next Saturday, we'll be doing another Guru Puja, which was really, really nice the last time we did it. So, and then also individual meetings after this, as usual.
Thanks, Geshe. Thanks,
Thanks,
Jangchub.
Jennifer.
Very, very, very high. You have to slowly.
Thank you, Geshe.
Okay, have a wonderful day.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, Geshe. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.